Welcome to the Jamodi podcast. We are all surrounded by amazing coaches and leaders. So let's get an inside look at not just what they do, but how they do what they do. After all, becoming the best versions of ourselves is Jamodi, just a matter of doing it. Coach, I got one more before the speed round. And you've had so much success in your 20 seasons. And obviously, sometimes losses, but failure can come in different ways. Defeat can come in different ways. How do you handle defeat with your team?
Yeah. Honestly, I hate to say you love to lose. It's always helpful. It's so weird how you want to teach them through wins. You want to teach through, even if you win and play poorly. But there's just something about, the suffering of a loss and what does it do? How do people react? How do they take the reactions of the campus or, the parents, defeat. It's one of those things. I want to be the same through defeat as we are through victory. It's like we knew these things were going to get us eventually, and today they did. Or, hey, we really played well. That team just played better than us. Sometimes the defeat is not even a negative. It's like, hey, have credit to that team. They played really good. And so it's not a demoralizing situation. But again, we want to show, we would take that, we'd show plays every weekend after a Thursday, Saturday weekend, we would on Monday watch winning and losing plays. These were, whether we won or lost, it doesn't matter.
How many you typically show?
Yeah, we might have 15 minutes, maybe, I don't even know how many clips.
Okay.
40 to 50 clips of possessions, little things that happen in the game. Either way, we may have won both games, but these were the winning plays. These were plays that really are going to get us against the best teams. These are losing plays. And so we keep all year trying to figure out. So when a loss comes, it's like, this is life. I just don't see the negative in sometimes losing. Every game someone loses, and it's like, are they a failure? The first question we ask little kids on the weekend, we see them in a, fast food restaurant eating lunch on Saturday and they're in their uniform. Did you win? That's not the question we should ask kids. Does that determine whether he had a good day or not? Because a lot of times they'll either say yes, excited, or they'll look down like no. And so now they felt like their sporting experience that day was bad. And so it's a terrible question to ask, I think, young kids.
You're right on the money. But I even think I just, with either my son, because sometimes I'm not able to be at all of his select games, and coach is first, well, how we do? First question. Right.
And that could mean a lot of things, though.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'm squeaking by with that. But there's sometimes like another player will call me like, first, I think, well, in your opinion, what are better questions to ask?
Yeah, for them, especially those young kids, it was like, hey, did you have fun?
There you go.
That's a lot of times my friend to those young kids, hey, did you have fun today? Were you a good teammate? What did you enjoy about the game? Finding some positives in whatever that went on, as opposed to, with the older players, I think how did it go is a good question, because it could have gone really well and they could have lost.
Yeah.
Could have gone poorly and they won.
You can learn a lot from that question. I don't think it's bad, though, to ask, like, maybe it's not fun, but hey, man, did you enjoy playing? Did you enjoy competing?
Yes.
And because I think it's so funny how I have so much more appreciation for what parents go through now, because I'm going through it in this moment where, he doesn't play all the time in his select team. And I know why, but maybe my family that's with me doesn't. It doesn't understand it. Yeah. The thought of, golly, is the coach is not like it? No. But guys, listen, when he's in, he looks a little shaky. He's not shooting. He's a great shooter. He's 0 for 4. Right. Like, I'm sorry. This is, especially in this world that was select, where there is no previous knowledge or skin in the game or experience, right, where like when I have with my players here, I can remember back to a game when he was 0 for 5 and finished 6 for 11. You know, like I can remember that game, but they don't know that. So it just, but the questions that I need to be prepared to ask my son or my players after these games, it's the same with our teams, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. Even I have a 24 and a 26-year-old son. My boys, they played in high school together. Awesome. You know, they're playing a city league right now. They're with some of their former high school teammates, and we'll go watch them play. It's still fun to watch them play.
Yeah.
But but you still have those same feelings like, oh man, take care of the ball, or make your free throw.
You're still powerful.
Relax.
How were you as in high school? You're coaching, your kids are in high school, you're watching them play for other people. How'd you do?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. They had such good coaches. I honestly, I really wanted to sit there and watch and enjoy it. It was one of those, if they made I thought they made a bad play, but I really wasn't a loud fan or yelling at anything. I wanted them let their coach, because again, I just think that we got to let those coaches coach their team. It's their team. They're there every day in practice. They know what's going on. I know you don't go to the parents of your players' workplaces and holler at them for doing their taxes wrong or something, whatever it is they're doing. It's just coaching such a strange. It's just so misconstrued. Everybody thinks they can do it because they did it in, elementary school,
or they watched. I mean, I love Suits, the show Suits about the lawyers, and I've picked up some jargon over the years. I have no clue what it means to be a lawyer and to do any of that stuff. But and my mom was the same way. She watched a lot of my practices, watched a lot of games, and thought that qualified her to know that my coach Tommy Thomas wasn't doing a good job with me.
There's just not any 24-hour sports talk shows lawyer talk shows or mechanic talk shows that, everybody has an opinion on ESPN or on the ticket, whatever you're listening to.
Yep.
All day long, they all analyze everything that happened or everything that should happen, but they're not in the game.
Yeah.
And so everybody's an expert with no knowledge.
Is there anything you do at the college level because I have thought a lot about trying to bring parents behind the scenes a little bit more, like let them come to practice, have more of these intentional meetings with them about hey, how are we going to handle a loss this season? Like as a group, with the parents, and any other strategies or anything that you do? I know it's different. Like they're more independent. But anything you do,
even in high school though, we'd have a parent practice night, bring all the parents, show them what we run on offense, show them what, against a press, we want to push it up the sideline, stop and reverse it. We don't want to yell, go, 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 so they understand why some things to them don't make sense. And, give them a chance to see here's what we're thinking. In college, our practices are always open for parents. When they come to town, shoot arounds, they're here. They always know they can come anytime. And so I want them around as much as possible so they get acclimated of what it is, how we do it, what we do. So, I just want as much open access as possible. Some people want closed practices. They want no distractions. And that's fine. I just think when a game comes, there's so much chaos. The more you learn to handle chaos, the better. In practice and whatever, because the games are very distracting. And so if you can't concentrate through chaos in practice, you're not going to be able to do it in a game. But Coach, parents, I just think I want them there as open to come to watch anything they want as possible.
Yeah, PGC on Wednesday nights, we would allow parents. It's the only time over the 5 days that they can come. And we have a really cool, we would have, when I used to direct, we'd have a really cool classroom session that was the message was really more for the parents and to help some of the disconnect and like treat officials like human beings. And so we had a whole thing on officials and then but when the athletes would go to the court, I would stay around with the parents and say, hey, really appreciate that you're here. We're not going to film the session because what we do here is secret and special, but also I want you to pretend you're at the zoo. You don't tap on the glass and don't feed the animals. Just watch. You're here to observe. But the whole idea was like, I think that'd be just an important reminder for them being at a practice is not to start giving their input or helping, even though cheering. I know they're I know they're well. Shoot it, just shoot it, Johnny. No, ma'am. Like
I think our girls. I think if any of our parents did that, our players would just run up there and grab them by the throat.
I feel so bad. Especially, I'm in select ball world right now, so I'm thinking about it a lot. I just feel so bad for some of these kids because their parents are screaming at them to shoot at the worst times. Like they're facing away. They're at like 16 feet and they're almost behind the backboard, but shoot it. Like, what are they supposed to do in this moment? Oh, it's awful.
It is painful. It's sort of funny, but it's also sad.
It is. Oh. You do have a lot of compassion. And again, it's humbling. Like with my players, again, after the game, I love watching you play. Like I gotta hit that. Like I gotta and mean it. Not just say it. Oh, I love watching you guys because tone's important, right?
Yeah, that is so true. Yeah, that's something and especially this year, I really enjoyed this watching our team. And we tell them a lot in practice. Just say, hey, thanks for playing so hard. I mean, we just appreciate you. I mean, 'cause there's teams that we play against that may be better teams, whatever you want to call that, but we wouldn't trade you for anybody, just so they know and not be saying it as a joke, but really meaning it. Man, we appreciate them. And even if they play poorly, just to have the group that when you go to the locker room, I trust you guys. I mean, that's huge.
Thank you for checking out today's episode. Please take a moment to subscribe to this podcast, share it with your fellow coaches, and find us on social media for what's coming up next on the Jamodi podcast. It's just a matter of doing it.